Welcome back, guys. We are at North London, where the champions Arsenal, who just under 90 days ago won the Premier League title, they begin their title defence here at the Emirates Stadium against Coventry City as the Premier League season returns. Take a look at this.
Hello. Hi.
So welcome along the season this morning tonight. It is Mikel Arteta, champions against Coventry City. Remember, Coventry City went up. They won promotion by They won as champions last season. So it's now against Coventry. Kick off at 8:30. So come up for you. So at 6:40 we'll be joined by Coventry City's manager Frank Lampard here. We'll have Mikel Arteta.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You can have
7:15.
that phone when you finish.
7:30. The Woods. Caught up with Gunnar Saka for a quiz for you. We'll have two news. Don't hang up! So we've got plenty to up. We'll do for you in a second. First we're going to take you back. take much when Coventry won the league title. I'm coming. Hang on.
Sponsored by Bet365. This is where it begins.
Yeah.
A touch from the heavens. The champions are the Arsenal. The stage is set. Welcome to the show. You can be the greatest of all time. You can be the greatest of all time. 94 days since Arsenal clinched the Premier League title to spark scenes of wild celebration around the Emirates Stadium. And tonight, they are back here to start their title defence against newly promoted Coventry City, who themselves return to the Premier League for the first time in 25 years. They are two fan bases full of hope and optimism, but it's that time of year when for everybody, anything feels possible. The long, hot English summer is behind us, and so we go again. The 35th season of the Premier League is upon us.
What is it we're chasing? Season after season, year after year. What keeps us believing? And why do we keep coming back for more?
There's the tension, the noise, the agony, the ecstasy.
It's a feeling, a moment.
It defies description. Sense of belonging.
It's a fresh start and new faces. There's old rivalries
in our favorite places. And it's more unforgettable days like these.
Oh, yes! This is incredible! Renee! Goodness gracious me! Love it. Oh, massive moment, Captain Marvel! Still Salah. Oh, only the Premier League writes scripts like this.
and it's time to do it all over again.
And we cannot wait. Arsenal, champions for the first time in 22 years. And now the challenge for the Gunners is to do it all over again. 1935, the last time they won back-to-back league titles. Only 3 clubs have managed it in the Premier League era. Only 3 giant managers, Ferguson, Mourinho and Guardiola. Can Mikel Arteta emulate them? Awarding shot to the rest last weekend in the Community Shield when they were mightily impressive against Manchester City, and they have been adding to that squad in the meantime as well. Adding to these regulars, Ezri Konsa into the building today and watching his new teammates here for the first time tonight. And what a night it is for Coventry City. We await their arrival, but what a start for the champions of the championship. Kicking off here, away from home, at the home of the champions. And we get underway at 8 o'clock this evening. Well, I do hope you've been having a fantastic summer, but it is time to interrupt it for the return of Premier League football. We are raring to go. The two teams cannot wait to get started, and hopefully our experts are feeling refreshed and recharged and ready to go. I know Jamie is. Gary and Ian spent a lot of their summer on a loft in New York, but great to have you back with us.
It's great to be back. Obviously, home of the champions is brilliant. we've got this game. I remember a couple of seasons ago, I had to watch these two dancing at Brentford. Started the season because Arsenal lost against Brentford. Now we're back in a different place as champions. I'm so excited for this season. I can't lie.
Is the pressure just completely lifted now?
Yeah, it is. And even when you speak to the players, when you see them in the interviews, you almost feel like there's a weight off their shoulders. Now they can go and show what they're really about in trying to retain it. And I think that when you look at the way the signings have gone and the managers, I think they've got a very, very good chance. And I think there might be more signings to come. Fingers crossed.
Gary, what excites you about this restart?
I think it's who's going to challenge Arsenal. The 4, 5, 6 teams behind them. There's uncertainty. There's new signings. They've got new managers, most of them, and it's the unknown. And I think the unpredictable nature of the Premier League is its actual best asset. Coventry's exciting tonight. I think that Sunderland and Leeds last year give a renewed vigour to teams coming up from the Championship. But I think it's how the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Liverpool are going to do with new managers or relatively new managers in the case of United and Tottenham. So, yeah, I think it's going to be unpredictable and we love that.
Yeah, one of the great things has been, Jamie, that we've seen different winners, 3 in the last 3 seasons. So as we start now, Arsenal obviously would feel reasonably confident about trying to defend it. How many of the teams you think will start this season and think we've got a real chance here?
Not many. I think maybe only Manchester City, just because those players have been so successful in the past. But I mean, Pep going is such a that's a big miss for the Premier League, isn't it? You know, we've arguably had the greatest manager of all time in the Premier League for the last 10 years, so that's going to be a big miss. I think the reason why so many people seem so confident predicting Arsenal are going to win the league is not so much about Arsenal, really. I think it's more about you can't really see anybody else lifting that trophy at the end of the season. You know, I just feels like a big jump
Definitely
for
not
any
Liverpool,
of those teams.
Jamie?
No, I almost feel like almost every team this season will almost be thinking this is the season to get ready for next season to really put the challenge in. I just think there's a lot to do for a lot of those teams because of new managers coming in and the squad just not being on the level of Arsenal's.
Gary, how far away are Manchester United?
I think if they get a believer, what they've done, they rebuilt the forward line last summer. They're rebuilding the midfield this summer. Defensively, I would still say that there are questions to be asked. But I think top 3 is realistic. I really do. I think they've obviously got to compete with more games than they had last season. That's the big question everyone's asking. But I feel like they're in a better place than most. I really do. I think they've got quite a lot of stability. I think the manager there is quite calm. And I think if they bring Belieber in there, they will have rebuilt that midfield, so they've got competitiveness in there.
You happy defensively? Left
No,
back?
no. Fullbacks and centre backs. I'm not comfortable. I think you could argue that they easily could bring in a new back 4. But they have got numbers back there. It's just the quality back there, and they do get injuries, some of those players. So the question marks are at the back.
Sounds like you can start planning the parade already from these two.
That's what happens. He done that to me last season as well. When we were 8 games in, he said, "Oh, it's ours to lose." Listen, we know that everybody's going to be chasing, but Jamie makes great points about the teams that are going to be chasing. But still, it's down to Arsenal to be, consistent in what they're doing. Like I said, the players look very confident. They know what it's about now. They've had 3 goals. They've done it on the 4th attempt. And so it's very exciting, Dave, to see how
do you think they are that much better than Arsenal? Because I think everybody's looking at last week in the Community Shield. You beat City, your biggest rivals or closest rivals last season, and you beat them with ease. But for me, the attack still hasn't been improved. There's still no superstar in the attack. Couldn't get Vinicius Junior over the line. And Saliba, for me, is probably, arguably, the one truly world-class player they have in the team. And he's out for 3 or 4 months.
So you put a big question mark, would you, over Arsenal?
No.
Their ability to defend.
The point I'm saying is, I don't think it's Arsenal have gone to another level. I just think everybody else, you can't see them winning it. But there are still things that Arsenal would have wanted to improve on in terms of they would have wanted a world-class attacker somewhere. They still haven't got that. And Saliba, for me, I think he's the best defender in the league, arguably the best defender in Europe. So there are sort of glimmers of hope for the other teams.
When Arsenal don't have to be better. Arsenal have to be the same as last season and be consistent and get the same amount of points and they'll win the league. Sometimes you don't need to be better when you win a title. You just need to repeat what you did the season before. And I think Arsenal have made a couple of serious signings with Konsa and Guimaraes. I agree with Jamie. They could do with a forward, and that would be the icing on the cake, and that would put them in a real strong position. Yep. I don't think there's anybody near them right now. I do feel they're well ahead. I really do.
Yeah, I do feel that with Kai Havertz, Saka and Erdegaard, the way they look at them, they look very fit, very sharp. It's great to see Saka the other day in the Community Shield blasting down the outside on the right side, because a lot of Arsenal fans are worried about, is he going to get back to that pace? He looked like he did in that a couple of runs there. Havertz, like I say, Saka, and Erdegaard. They haven't played a lot together last season. I think that might be something that will give us even more of a push this season.
And what a start they got last weekend, thanks to Riccardo Calafiori, who's talking now with David Craig.
Ricardo, this club made history winning its first title for 22 years last year. Now you have the chance to write further history because this club has never retained the titles since the 1930s. How well set up are you to do that?
I think we're pretty ready to start the season, and obviously it will be a long journey, but I think we're focused for this game, for today's game, and we'll see after.
You played a big part last week in putting down a huge marker, winning the Charity Shield convincingly against Manchester City. How much momentum does that give you ahead of your first Premier League game?
As I said, I think it was a nice test for us, for our mentality after winning last season, and I think it helped us a lot. Let's see today on the pitch, but I'm really confident.
Really interesting matchup tonight. We have the Premier League champions from last year versus the champions of the EFL Championship. How big a test do they provide, given the amount of goals they scored last season?
No, it's always tough, when a new team comes to our league, and we know how annoying they can be. So we are much prepared, and we'll see on the pitch.
Ricardo, we look forward to it. All the best.
Much, thank you.
Not quite ready for team news yet. All the fans that are starting to gather here, very anxious to hear it. Some big decisions for Mikel Arteta to make. But I suppose we talk quite flippantly about the chances of Arsenal actually going back-to-back, but only 3 teams have done it. What makes it so tough?
Usually the teams that obviously have lost it come back the season after, and the team that have won it maybe just relax a little bit. That's the sort of classic one, but I just don't see that. I think with Arsenal, and I'm not putting pressure on them, they've had to go through so much to get where they've got to. And I think once they've got there, Mikel Arteta's gone from being the apprentice for 2 or 3 seasons where we wondered whether he could do it, and now he's actually the master of all those managers in the top 6 because he's won the Premier League. And I just think, looking at that Calafiori there, look at Arsenal's defence. I think Arsenal's second back 4 is better than the other top 6 back 4s. I think if you pick the top back 4, it'd be Calafiori, Timber, Saliba and Gabriel. But I think if you picked Nkapie, White, Konza and Mosquera, I actually think that could compete with any other back 4 in the top 6. I think they're unbelievable back there, and that's the strength of everything. They're really sound and consistent.
Ian, do you think there's any pressure on Mikel Arteta to make any changes stylistically?
No, I don't think so. I think that when you listen to Mikel and what he was saying after the Champions League, when he's talking about the Champions League and losing that, he was talking about a dynasty and bringing in the kind of players that make differences. I think he wants to play how he plays, but he wants to bring forwards in who can make a difference. Because like that Champions League final came down to the fact that we lost by a penalty, but
who are they bringing in?
Players. Well, this is what I'm saying. They're talking about, I don't know if Alvarez is coming. Obviously they went for Vinny. I know that was happening. People laugh at me. You two laugh. Look, you're supposed to
That was never happening.
Vinny who?
He's got a new contract, Danny.
At some stage, I'll show you. I'll show you what the proof. But that's where we're going. I don't think we need to change the way we're playing. We just need to bring in that calibre of player to force it home.
Arsenal, Coventry, kicking us off tonight at the start of this new Premier League season. And doesn't the first fixture weekend just look so enticing with 11 new managers? Another newly promoted side, Hull in action early tomorrow against Manchester United. Everton take on Crystal Palace now in the hands of Pierre Sage. Tomorrow, Ipswich, led by Gary O'Neill, take on Sunderland. Nottingham Forest now with Oliver Glasner at the helm up against Leeds United. Brentford take on Roberto De Zerbi's Spurs, who have been spending big. That's a live game with us, 5:30 tomorrow. And then Super Sunday, 3 games for you. Brighton Villa, Manchester City under Enzo Maresca take on Marco Rosa's Bournemouth. Newcastle Liverpool at 4:30. And both of those 2 under new managers as well, Jaisler and of course Andoni Iraola. And on Monday night, 2 more new guys in the dugout as Arbeloa takes on Alonso's Chelsea. That's how we kick off our Monday Night Football. And with Super 6 returning, there is £1 million to be won, and it's have to be won this weekend. They're convinced it could go all the way through to November. Predict 6 correct scores, play for free, and scan that QR code to find out more information. Arsenal are here. The champions' preparations are well underway for their return to action, but the new boys are keeping us waiting. No sign yet of Coventry City. Team news coming next.
You can be the greatest of all time.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Devoted fans are here to be honoured for their services to football with Coral's Reward Shaker. First to shake, it's Baz, who got the badge in 43 times last season, even at his own wedding. Oh, there we go. Your free bet's on its way. Get in. Next, it's the fans abroad. Why explore the culture when you can watch the footy? Gracias, Senor Bulldog. Eyes on the prize. The half and half scarfers giving it a go. Rich coming from you, Jimmy. Coach Strive and Terry. Wakey, wakey. Finally, the fans who have their club in their heart and also on their head. A super boost for that super fan. Get a guaranteed reward or offer with Coral's Daily Reward Shaker. Free bet, super boost and more. Coral, we're here for it.
I just don't know how much longer I can put up with it. I give and give, get nothing in return. I just want to know that it's going somewhere. Feel surprised occasionally.
So yeah, my panel tonight is Stephen Warnock. I've got Stephen Warnock, Theo Walcott, Stephen Theo, and we've got Darren Ben with us tonight. We'll go continues after 7 o'clock. We're being joined now by the Coventry City manager, Frank Lampard. Frank's going to join me right now. Also, Frank, thank you. How are you feeling? How's everything, guys? I'm feeling really excited, happy, and really refreshed to go, and hopefully we can have a good season. Question, Frank, how has pre-season been for you and your Coventry team? Your pre-season's been good. It's been fantastic to get to have fun for the players. Had some time off, and then we went again. We prepared in July, so they had the whole of June off, and then we started preparing on July the 10th, and we had about 8 games of pre-season that we went through. We won about 5 or 7 pre-season games, so I think we're very confident. Frank Lampard, Frank, how has your pre-season been like? So how has pre-season been for you and your players and your team? Pre-season's been, like I said, it's been fine for us. We've won about 5 games. We played about 8 pre-season games. We won about 5 out of 8, so it's not bad going. We've had success. Our community support's been fantastic over the pre-season. I want to thank us for the support we got off our fans. It was fantastic. Flags, ribbons, it's been fantastic how our pre-season prepared. How has the transfer? How has the summer of transfers been then this season for you, Frank? I mean for the summer, Frank. How has the transfer window been for you? Because I know you've got a couple of players in for Dar, is that correct? Yes, of course, we've got a couple of key players that we need in for first season. We got about 4 players I think in for Dar so far. We're hoping to get 2 more before the window shuts in about 12 days' time. And then we are hoping that we can, the new players we've got in can make a difference here tonight against Arsenal. How did it feel to be promoted as champions last season? How did that feel for you, Frank? It felt great. It felt amazing to be up as champions. It felt really good to be able to Hold on, Frank.
Football with 97 goals. Gary Neville has left us briefly. He's off to try and catch up with one of his former Salford players who's now in the Coventry City ranks. But this used to be a regular Premier League fixture. And here we go from back in the archive, November 1992, the first episode of it. Guess who up front? Ball?
Yes, mogul.
Do you know what? It wasn't even a chance. That's what I love about
That's
that.
the thing. It wasn't even an half chance, Dave. I made something out of nothing. See how far I put my arms.
But I think you were also playing the following season.
Oh, gosh.
when Highbury was having a bit of a refurb, and Mickey Quinn came here and actually became the last player to score a hat-trick away at Arsenal. This was from the opening weekend. Mickey Quinn, man I'm sure you know well, Jamie.
Yeah, what a man, what a character, what a family. Yeah, get out there, is that big Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy Wiggly.
Oh, look at that, left
Whoa.
foot, wow.
I remember
Mickey Quinn, the king of Canny Farm.
Here's a stat for you, Jamie. One of 6 hat-tricks scored against Arsenal in the Premier League. 4 of them have been scored by Scousers.
Wow.
Mickey Quinn among them. 2 by Robbie Fowler and 1 by Wayne Rooney as well. Let's see if we get a hat-trick tonight. We are so excited to bring you team news for the very first time this season. How many new boys in the ranks for Coventry City? How many of the World Cup stars make it back for Arsenal? Time to find out with our experts on the gantry. Peter Drury, again refreshed after his summer off. And over to you, Peter.
Yes, so many variables, Dave. It's such an exciting time of year, isn't it? And what I can tell you is this, that Mikel Arteta for Arsenal has come to the following conclusions, that of his new signings, Bruno Guimaraes cannot play. He was hurt in the Community Shield, but Christos Solis does make a Premier League debut. That of his England World Cup stars, Rice in place of Bruno and Saka, not Madueke, start. That with Saliba out and Konsa in the wings, it's Mosquera who continues at centre-half. That Havertz plays and not against his former club, Gyökeres. So that is 9 of the 11 who kicked off in Cardiff last Sunday. Frank Lampard has scribbled Coventry's first team sheet for 25 years and 94 days, and that includes 3 brand new names. A giant Swiss centre-half, Aurel Amenda, a Ghanaian World Cup star in midfield, Caleb Urenchi, and French winger Loum Chowner signed from Burnley. He is one of just 4 in this 11 previously to have kicked a Premier League ball, along with Grimes and Sims and Onyeka. That means newly re-signed Gus Harmer is on the bench, together with Taiwo Awoniyi, who arrived from Forest this week. That's Coventry's first Premier League team since Gordon Strachan's selection for a goalless draw in Bradford in May 2001, and 4 of tonight's 11 weren't even born then. And by the way, Dave, if you're looking for candidates to score a hat-trick, there's one on either side tonight who actually scored one in their last competitive game. Bukayo Saka for England in Miami against France, and Ellis Sims, if you're looking for a latter-day Mickey Quinn, Ellis Sims got one at Watford for Coventry on the final day of last season.
There we go, Peter. Thank you very much, all with an extra bit of information for us. And Ellis Sims trying to add to his 1 Premier League goal so far, which he scored for Everton against Chelsea. Now very much a Coventry player and leading them into their Premier League season. What about Arsenal tonight then? Let's have a look. Couple of changes from that Community Shield, as you heard, and it's not bad, is it, Ian, when you can turn to your squad and bring Declan Rice in and Bukayo Saka?
Brilliant. Brilliant to see Odegaard, Saka and Havertz in there. Solis has started his pre-season, started his career with Arsenal very, very well. He's come here with a good goal-scoring record, good assists. So I'm pleased to see his pre-season's been rewarded with a start, because I think he's been brilliant. And the rest of the team, honestly, you just look at it and you feel, yeah, a lot of experience. Miles Lewis-Skelly, the way he's really kicked on with everything what's going on around him at 19 is still amazing. So I'm really pleased with that team. That's a very, very good team.
Jamie, just on those 2 England boys, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka, should we expect them to take a little while to come up to full speed?
Yeah, definitely Declan. Does it look like he's pulling for tugs at times in the World Cup with England? I think he comes off in the semi-final as well. You don't normally expect that for a player of the quality and importance of Declan Rice. And I think there was a feeling, wasn't it, around the World Cup, that a lot of the Arsenal players, you look at Saliba now come back with an injury, that maybe some of them would feel the effects after the World Cup. Had such a long season, Champions League final, and then a lot of the players gone far in the World Cup as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Co-owned, of course, by our Gary Neville, and now 4 years on, Brandon and Thomas Asante is standing by to make his Premier League debut and to be interviewed by Gary Neville.
So Frank was just saying, how did it feel? Yeah guys, it felt fantastic, it felt brilliant, it felt really good. This felt like a special moment for me, my club, for players, for fans, and fantastic, and yeah. How grateful, Frank, are you of the support that you got from all your fans in the championship last season, Frank? Yeah, kicking it felt fantastic, it felt really good. I thanked every single one of the fans for with us for home games at home and in. They travelled with us to away games. We got absolute fantastic and great and unforgivable support and love from all the fans that supported us from that season. We hope they can do the same. Well, are you expecting high standards now you're in the biggest and the best top flight division in the world, Frank? Well, yeah, we hope that we can finish somewhere in the top half, like maybe 7th or 8th. Hopefully, if we perform well, we get off to a good start here, and hopefully we can progress well. And you never know, it could be a good season for us. Final question I think we're going to deliver for you for tonight is what are you expecting from the champions of the Premier League Arsenal? What are you expecting from them tonight here, Frank, at home? We have a good side. They prove a very good side because of course they won the league last season. They've got good players like they've got Declan Rice, Saka. They've got some good players. They've got some good talents like Bruno Guimaraes, she's brand new here. But yeah, we didn't expect them to be easy, but we hopefully that we can put them under pressure, get some goals, and hopefully beat them here tonight and cover a campaign for win. So final question from us tonight, so Frank, is what are you expecting from your support in the Premier League? Is it going to be bigger than it was in the Championship last season, Frank? Keegan, I really hope that our support here can be big. We're hopefully expecting new and a bigger and bigger fan club here in the Premier League because it's the biggest league. It's the biggest and it's the best and top flight division to play in for any club that comes to the Championship. But yeah, we are hoping that we get an even bigger fan club and favourite supporters throughout the season. Hopefully, it'll pay off in May next year, and hopefully we can do everyone proud like we did last year. Okay, for now, thank you, Frank, for joining me, Thea, Stephen, and Darren. Give it up for the give it up for the Coventry City manager, Frank Lampard. Frank, for now, thank you, Frank, and good luck for the game. Thank you, Frank. Thanks, guys. For us, the Coventry City manager, Frank Lampard, speaking to us then.
Brandon, it's absolutely brilliant to see the journey that you've been on from League Two right the way through the Championship to the World Cup and now the Premier League. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honour. Of course, it's another step in the right direction, but there's a lot more work to do. And yeah, just grateful for the journey for people like yourself who have, helped every step of the way. And like I said, there's more to do.
You've always been confident, but you're playing against the best team and the best defence in the Premier League. How do you think you're going to impact tonight? Are you going to be playing from deep and counter-attacking, or you're hoping to get on the front foot?
I mean, we're prepared for different phases of the game. I think naturally, a team like Arsenal, you expect them to, have phases where they're going to have possession. But it's not new to us. Whether we're attacking on the counter, good in transition, and I think that there's ways we can hurt them, and that's what we intend on doing.
What can we expect from Coventry this season, just overall? What's the sort of thing that we won't have seen in the Championship?
I think potentially, the way that last season went, we had a lot of things that went in our favour in terms of we had a lot of good moments. I think this season there's going to be times where we're up against, of course, more quality. But I think that one thing that we can really show is that character that we've got. I think we built that from probably the season before last, and we've had a lot of time together as a squad. And I think that we're going to show people that it's not just the easy times, but when we really have to crack down, we've got that in us as well.
Does Salford still have any bonuses left in your contract for any goals that you scored this season, or is it all over now?
You're going to have to tell me that. We're going to have to. I think I owe you more than that anyway. You've been top for me, so thank you.
Brilliant. Enjoy the game tonight. Well, all the best this season. Well done.
Salford currently scouring that contract to look for any extra clauses they might have missed out. But 7 players in that Coventry team making their Premier League debut tonight. There must be so much excitement in that dressing room, Jamie.
Yeah, there will be, of course, and I think when you think of a promoted team coming up, you always think, who's your first game? It's almost like watching a cup draw in some ways. You get through a cup, your lower league team, you want that big draw, and you think of what Coventry have got tonight, you think of what Hull have got tomorrow as well, playing two of the biggest clubs, not just in the Premier League, but in world football. And you hope it goes well for them. And what I mean by that is, we all expect Arsenal to win the game, but you certainly don't want to be on the end of sort of a good beating in your first game. Put up something respectable. You played against Arsenal. Obviously, try and get something from the game, of course. But as I said, when you think of next week for Coventry as well, I think they've got Hull at home. I think both teams will be looking at that and thinking, okay, that's almost where not so much the season starts, but get points on the board.
I think it's a magnificent fixture to start, especially them coming up as champions. The momentum there coming up as champions. For them to start at Arsenal with nobody expecting anything from them. Obviously, they've made 7 changes, so you're going to have to see how they gel together. But if I'm a Coventry player playing I'm going for it today. You know what I mean? I'm really going to go for it because you're not going to be judged on this. But what will happen is if it does go the wrong way, then people will say, oh, are they going to be the ones who go? I think this is a great opportunity for Coventry to just have a blast at Arsenal.
Absolutely. What a stage to try and make your reputation. First game of the season back in the Premier League, 25 years away, and they take on the champions. It's their first title defence for such a long time, and there is the man that made it possible for Coventry City. We will be speaking live to both managers next.
Sponsored by Bet365.
My lover stands on golden sand.
7 nights in the Canary Islands from $5.99. I'm going to need a bigger bucket list.
P&O Cruises. Holiday like never before. At all protected.
Welcome to the Betway Clubhouse.
I'll get that one.
You sure, Sean?
I can feel the action.
Made for making dreamy bedrooms a reality. Get up to 7 years interest-free credit on our stylish, space-saving fitted bedrooms. Wren. Made for living. The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. With over 25 years of electrified experience and a battery warranty up to 1 million miles. Get that Toyota electric feeling.
I'm Lilypad.
It's over for toys! Screens have won!
Our time ain't over yet.
Toy Story 5. Available to buy or rent while it's in the cinema with Sky Store Premiere.
Sponsored by Bet365.
So here we go again. The Premier League resumes tonight with the champions Arsenal starting their defence against Coventry City, the champions of the Championship who stormed it last season under Frank Lampard. 95 points along the way. And they are back after a 25-year absence. This is the lineups for this evening. A couple of changes for Arsenal from the Community Shield. Bukayo Saka comes in on that right-hand side as Noni Madueke drops to the bench and Declan Rice into midfield. So we do not see Bruno Guimaraes this evening, their new signing. He is not in the squad because of a knock he picked up in Cardiff. And Esri Konsa, who's just signed today, is watching on as well here. Christos Tolles, though, does start for the Gunners. Coventry City look like there's a lot of familiar names from the Championship. 1 or 2 of those were loans that were made permanent and a couple of new signings sprinkled in there as well, like a Mender at the back who'll play alongside Bobby Thomas. Caleb Urenchi, a lot of excitement around the Ghanaian international who comes into midfield, and the pace of Umchauna that we saw in glimpses at Burnley last season. Ellis Sims leading the attack for Frank Lampard's side, and delighted to say the man himself joins us live right now. Frank, good to see you. We saw last season, the back end of it, when it was all done and dusted, just how emotional that you were about that achievement for someone who's experienced so much in the game. That was really interesting to see. But what does tonight mean for yourself and for Coventry City?
It means a great deal. I think the emotions are probably working with the group, and we became so close now over the 18 months. But also the story of 25 years, the fan base, what they've been crying out for, what they were desperate for, and we've managed to bring that back to the club. So amazing. Now reality's here, and we're driving up to the Emirates, and this is I loved it. I love driving up here, feeling the atmosphere, feeling the fans. This is like the top level, and the boys and the ones who've had it, but the team that got us here deserve it.
Did you stop off or something, Frank? You was late.
Stop off. There's a bit like Guinness in the street.
There's a lot of excitement here. Was there excitement for you when you saw it was Arsenal away first?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, like excitement and understanding. I mean, you're going to play Arsenal away at some point in the season, and there's maybe an argument if we can have a good preparation, which we feel we have, and got the players in, the players that have been in the World Cup. You have to hope on those things a little bit. But no, you prepare for the game. We have to. Our season's not going to be defined necessarily by this game today. Going to Arsenal, not many people will fancy us at all. If not everybody, that's fine. I think it gives the boys an opportunity to go out and show at this level what they can do. And I want to see minimum competing, minimum performance, and then we'll see, because it's football.
Frank, I know you made a few signings, but like there seems to be a lot of stability since you've taken over with this team. You seem to have a lot of trust in the group.
I do, and because they've been great for me, and you look at teams that have come up, some make a lot of moves, and they go back down, and then when you look from the outside, you go, did they lose something there? Did they lose a bit of spirit, or did they lose something? So I think our idea was to try and keep the balance and the spirit, because we'll need it this year. Yeah. We're not going to win a lot of weeks, maybe like we did last year. That's a fact, and that's not a problem. We want to do as well as we can. So it was a balance of trying to keep the players. They deserve it. They're good players. The spirit of the group's great, but of course we've got to add to it. Everybody has to.
Frank, looking at the profile of the signings, did you look at what Sunderland and Leeds did last year? Obviously, it's difficult to stay in the Premier League when you come up from the Championship, but they signed a physical profile of play. Is that something you've looked at with the 9 signings that you've made?
Yeah, without a doubt, because it's the way the game's gone, right, from our day. I think we timed our run perfectly in terms of the game. The game's got so physical, so strong. The running mentality of the group has to be strong, and you just have to have the capacity to do that. So we had some of that, but I think we've tried to add to that. And you look at set pieces, you look at size, you look at all those things. Unfortunately, they cost more money. The bigger they are, the faster they are, and the quality. So it's for us, where do we shop, what bracket we shopping in. We're happy with what we've done. Hopefully that will show on the pitch.
Frank, you're talking about sort of bringing a different profile of playing, but in terms of, as you said, you're not going to dominate a lot of games in the Premier League. It's a complete, flip of the coin now. How would you change sort of tactically? How are you going to go about it?
Well, I think we have to be smart about that. I think we were a relatively high pressing team last year in the league, and we could be, but we have to understand the levels, and the levels that if you want to open up too much, there are teams with different qualities. Like in the Championship, can you leave your fullback one-on-one with a winger? Probably you can. Now you have to understand, if it's Saka you're going against, you have to give him some help. So all those things will relate all over the pitch. So we're hopefully wise to that. We've hopefully spoken to the players a lot about that, and if it means we're operating in different areas of the pitch, as long as we're aggressive, that's fine. And obviously as well, the pressing of other teams. If you want to come up here and think you can come and play and all those things, that teams are so good at that stuff now, we have to be understanding of that. So we'll vary our game. I don't think there's a one stop across the ball, but especially coming to plays like this, we have to have a clear understanding of it.
There was a lot of conversation around the Premier League last season, Frank, about set pieces, and that was something that you really excelled at in the Championship. Do you expect that to be a big feature again this time?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a big feature of the modern game. We were very good at it, and if you look at games we won, pivotal goals that we scored with set pieces and defending set pieces, and again, like everything, the level goes up here in the Premier League. So it's something we focus a lot on. Again, it's profile of player sometimes to make sure you've got a strong team in that sense. You look at what Arsenal built over the last 3, 4, 5 years. So yeah, we feel we're good at that, and we will have to be good at it.
Yeah, we wish you well. We're really looking forward to seeing your team play tonight.
Thanks very much. Luck. Cheers. Nice speaking to you, lads.
Thank you very much,
Good luck,
Frank.
Cheers.
All the best.
Great to see you. Cheers.
Frank Lampard, who
Thanks.
is back here. We were reflecting, actually, Jamie, the last time he was here as manager was his second spell at Chelsea, which was a tough experience for him. But will he be better for that experience?
Of course, he'll be a better manager for that. And listen, most managers have it's a roller coaster football, whether you're a player or a manager. Unless you're the absolute elite player or manager, you always seem to win every week or do really well. And for me, what Frank Lampard's done, he's come back from a couple of knocks and shown that he's a really good manager. And I think I said this a few weeks ago. Listen, I hope it goes well for them this season, but I think he's a future England manager. I really do believe that. I'm a big believer that the England manager should be English. That's why I'm saying that as well. But when you think of who he's managed, where he's been the champion. He kept Everton up. He's brought Coventry up, very close to bringing Derby up. He went in at Chelsea and did brilliantly in his first season, then came back, as you said, I was commentating on that game and it was hard to watch, you know, going at the end of that season with Chelsea. But all those experiences that he's had is going to make him the manager that he is now. And don't forget the criticism he got when he went into Coventry. You know, Mark Robinson's done a brilliant job there. So it was a brave decision by, I think it's Dougie King, is it?
the owner, yeah.
It was a brave decision to bring Frank in, but it was also a brave decision for Frank to come in on the back of a manager being well respected and loved by fans. Because most managers come in when most fans want the last fella out, they can't wait to get rid of him, and there's a bit of a honeymoon period. That wasn't the case with Frank when he came to Coventry.
Honestly, it would have been the easiest thing in the world for him just to sit on television and earning good money, giving his opinion and sort of switch off on management. Honestly,
embarrassing them people who do that.
No comment. No, but Dave, seriously, when he took that job, I was like, I felt honest. I'm absolutely delighted because there's a number of players that we played with for England who have tried the managerial sort of side of things, and it's hard work and it's tough to establish yourself. And
You're one of them.
I know, and you don't seem to get a second and third chance. But he's gone again, and it's paid off for him, and it's brilliant that he's done that.
I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted for him because I think the Everton job, he kind of went into the Everton job and it was a tough one, and the same with the Chelsea.
Yeah, he hasn't done it the easy way.
He hasn't done it the easy way. So, like you said, when he went back into Coventry, and they were 17th, I think they're a couple of points off of relegation. And you know, he went in obviously off of the back of a very popular manager, Mark Robbins, done brilliant for them, took them through all the tribulations they've been through, and Frank's done it. And you know, again, like Gary said, he could be lounging about, doing what well, I'm not lounging about. He could be just relaxing, chilling, but like he's here, put himself right amongst it again, and I'm pleased for him, delighted for him.
He said all the right things about Arsenal away first, and then it's Manchester City away the next away game. But in their first 5 home games, they play 2 promoted clubs. They play Sunderland, who promoted the season before. Is that where they have to really earn their right to be in this division?
Sorry, Gary. I think we know it's a long season, but very early on, when you look at that first home game against Hull, if we're talking about those teams staying up, that already feels like a huge fixture. Next weekend it does. Frank's realistic. He knows it's going to be tough to come to places like this. So when you play the big boys at home, but there's certain fixtures. If you want to stay in the Premier League, you've got to identify at the start of the season and think their fixtures, we're going to have to pick up 3 points. And I think that starts definitely for next week for Hull and for Coventry.
Here comes Mikel Arteta, who's just been mugged on the touchline there.
Martin Keown.
But he's fought his way through to a rapturous reception here. Mikel, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So here we go again. Yeah, you got over the line last year, and it's been really interesting hearing you talk this summer about creating a dynasty, taking this Arsenal team to a different dimension. How'd you go about doing that?
Daily. First of all, showing the right ambition, making decisions that follow that ambition, and then igniting every single day the excellence in their habits and trying to improve those players and the club in every area to try to be better.
Does that start with you and the language that you use around the players?
Everything, it has to start with me if I have to demand these guys what to do, and I need to have with that energy, that desire to go again, and I certainly have it.
But do you feel when you look around the landscape of the Premier League now, your great friend Pep Guardiola gone, a lot of change at a lot of clubs, that there is an opportunity for you?
We have to create that opportunity. We don't know what the other clubs are going to do. There are so many great managers. You see the transfer window, the teams and the squad that they've built. So we can control, and we have to be certain that we do what we can do to be the best version of ourselves.
Boss, I wanted to ask you about the new faces in the backroom staff. No, that's happened. I wanted to find out what you're hoping the impact will be of those changes you've made in the backroom.
I hope huge. I mean, availability is one of the biggest qualities that the squad has to have. And then is the robustness to do and to deliver our game model for 96 minutes every 3 days. If you are not capable of doing that, you are in trouble. And we make some changes, thinking that we have to get better.
Mikel, can you just give us a little bit of an insight into the thinking behind bringing Concert in from Aston Villa? A great signing. You've already got a lot of strength in that position, but what's the thinking behind bringing him in?
Well, we needed one more player. We had 7 players in the defensive line. We know that that's not enough. We have 2 long-term injuries, one with Jury and the one with Willie, and we wanted somebody that didn't have the qualities that we already have. So somebody ideally with experience, because as a centre-back in this league, you cannot play jokes. You know how important that position is, and I think Ezri brings a lot of qualities that we needed.
And is there anything else that you want to do in the transfer window?
We are trying to improve the team as well. We have to be dependent, obviously, if there are any exits and what the numbers will look like at the end. But so far, I'm very happy.
Mikel, let's talk about, can you move the team on? Does that mean improving the way you actually play and went about winning the league last season? Or is it maybe trying to be a bit more offensive or scoring more goals?
In every department, that's what we want to do. And we were really good in various departments. We know that in the attacking phase, especially in certain games, we are a bit short. We need to understand the context that we lost big players for 6, 7 months, which is a massive impact on that. But yeah, be very critical with ourselves, with the things that we have to improve, with the flow that we have to be able to get in and around the team. And a lot of things that happened against Man City, I really loved. So we need to be consistent and try to deliver them.
It was a great performance. Bruno Guimaraes was obviously at the heart of that. He's not here tonight. What's happened there, Mikel?
Yeah, he had a slight tension in his groin, and yeah, he hasn't done a pre-season. He had only 4 or 5 days before that game, and we need to take it. There's a lot of new stuff for him as well, and we need to take him bit by bit.
Thanks for your time. We wish you well, Mikel.
Thank you very much.
Good to talk to you. Mikel Arteta looking to go back-to-back with Premier League titles. On that style point, Jamie, do you think that he has to adapt, has to change? Is that something that you can say of a team that's won the title?
No, I was just interested to see what he would feel himself, because when a team's successful, can they improve in other areas? Of course they can, and he just sort of said that, didn't he? Maybe add a little bit more in attack. But I actually think that's more star quality rather than him changing something tactically. That's what I wanted to hear from him. It takes me back a little bit to when Chelsea were really successful in the Abramovich era, and they were winning leagues, getting close in Champions Leagues, and there was always this feeling coming from the club that they wanted to play like Barcelona, and I used to be sitting there scratching my head thinking, just keep winning. That's what you do. Arsenal are unbelievable defensively. It doesn't matter how you win, it's about winning. So for me, I'm not sitting there saying they should change their style, but I do think they lack a little bit of stardust in the final third. So it might be about who they get over the line in the transfer market rather than Mikel Arteta ripping up anything that he's doing. Because, as I said, when you win the league, you know, play in a certain way. Why would you change it?
Yes, and Arsenal start their defence here against Coventry City. It has been 25 years since they've been away, but they are back here tonight, and it has been quite the journey.
Come in if you want.
I don't speak English. Come on. Don't get away.
Cheeky copper.
Oh no, that's a no-win for me, isn't it? So it's a lot to that's good. Don't let Roy Keane see this. He'll be raging.
You can be the greatest of all time.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Yeah.
You might want to go for your usual.
Right, so we're just gonna pause here. What? So we're just gonna pause a bit of here. We're gonna go get the latest news from our newsroom. Let's go to our newsroom, get the latest news from the BBC with Margaret Jones. Let's go. Margaret, good evening, welcome. Oh, sorry tonight. Meghan in talks for a role in Gary Ritchie's series as Harry and claims hits with a 9.5 million court bill. So, Harry and Meghan the Duchess are in talks for a role in a Netflix series as the Duke hits with a 9.5 court bill. Williams and Meghan are in talks for a role in Guy Ritchie series on Netflix. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and his celebrity claimants will pay a 9.54 million to the Daily Mail publisher after he and 6 other households named lost a private court case. Other news tonight. Next, the court from murder trial goes on with witnesses He took a famous final picture of a raper asking about staging the scene with almost a week into the long-awaited murder trial. We are back in the court after another dramatic day in the case. Next, a swan at Sweden school leaves two teenagers with several injuries, and attacker wielding a swan has wounded several people at a high school in Sweden. Next, police are on alert as a funeral held for a teenager killed in an island runway crash. Funeral follows a horrific car that killed 5 teenagers and left 3 sisters and a child seriously injured in hospital. Funerals have been held for 2 teenagers killed when the car they were in drove the runway down a motorway and crashed into another vehicle. Also tonight, next, Manchester Arena attack survived say tourism impact continued for years. Paul Price spent months in hospital and lost his partner in the Manchester Arena attack. With campaigns calling for greater support for the terrorist victims. Ukraine Zelensky sees help to hit Putin missiles launch. The Russian has launched yet more attacks on Ukraine, killing at least 18 people overnight. Meanwhile, Finland has accused Moscow of an airspace violence. Zelensky has requested for the world's richest man. The family paid tribute to beautiful boy, 14-year-old who died after being hit by a bus. The teenager died in hospital 2 days after being struck by a bus in Portsmouth. Next, more than 2,500 people died in the USA as spread into areas, the biggest that France have ever seen on record. Finally, the world's oldest person turned 170 today and still can't get over the time she met the king. An old woman turned 170 today and is looking forward to spending her birthday with friends and family at a care home in Surrey after a visit from the king.
But precision is always, you are never sure what you are. Can I get an excuse for you that Liverpool sign a player before the end of the transfer window? Another one?
We'll definitely sign players. Some deals you have to wait until the end. At the end, the important picture is the one we have the 1st of September. Because it's true that we are still quite thin.
Something that really fascinated me a couple of years ago was a quote from Pep Guardiola talking about your team and other teams in the Premier League, saying this is the future of football, this is the way the game's going.
I don't think the future of football is just one style. Football evolves very quickly, but it will change again.
You said everybody has their different ways, their own ways, different styles throughout Spain and different managers. Would you class yourself as one of the riskier?
Riskier sounds like you are not effective. You know, our approach is because we think is the best way to win. I prefer to be a good team and win things than to be entertaining.
Jamie Carragher, deep in conversation with the boss. You can see it right now on the Sky Sports Premier League YouTube channel, all 30 minutes of it. Jamie, I know you had loads of questions about Liverpool at the back end of last season, so are you...
Well, we're just going to go look at the weather now. Go have a look at the weather, the BBC weather. I'm going to go to this weather for you right now. Let's go. So the weather for you tonight. For the UK, later sunny breaks for many this evening, overnight, but patchy cloud and clear skies with just the odd spot of light rain around the coast, turning chilly in rough parts. And tomorrow's weather will be plenty of sunshine for all of tomorrow, with only a few areas of patchy cloud at times. Northern Ireland and Northern Scotland will be cloudy with light drizzles of highs about 40 highs of 10 degrees. That's what it is. Magra Jones. Welcome back. Silicon between 9 o'clock. We will be in team news. But in a minute, we're going to give the first to Mick Arteta, who had a 5-minute conversation with our reporter, Christmas and different also. Silicon tonight, yep. Mick Arteta. And then at 7:45, just before kick, we're going to have look. As just Mohammed, our breakfast host, sat down for a quiz of Arsenal legends and talk about the season, last season's campaign. And then if I got to we're going to tell you about all the fantastic new shows, new projects, new everything I'm going to tell you all about that very shortly for you. But right now, Mikel Arteta and his side begin their title defence. Tonight, it's been 90 days since they won the league, and the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is speaking to customers right now, Kelly. we're going to give you the team news for the match tonight between these two sides, hoping to get off to a winning start this season. I'm going to give you the team news as Arsenal take on Coventry here. So you can say we know for Sky Blues, Coventry have played their first top flight match in over 25 years. And we're going to give you the teams right now. They've come straight through, so let's have a look. So we'll start with last season's champions who are defending their crown. So number 1, David Raya, Cavare, Gabriel, Christian Moresk, Ben White, Lewis Kelly, Declan Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, Saka on the bench. You've got Kepa, Max Downer, Gyökeres, Madueke, Mikamarenu, Sudimendi, Nasri. So for the Sky Blues, Coventry City, newly promoted Coventry City under Frank Lampard. Their goalkeeper's number 19, Rutherford. They've got Ben Thompson, Thomas Entity, Simmons. We've got number 3, 24, 5, 27, number 6 is their captain, number 8, 16, 9, 18 the bench. They've got Wilson, Trott, Honey. They've got number 14, 28, 38, 15, 22, 5, 7, 29 and 13. I'm going to tell you our match officials for tonight are as follows. We've got Thomas Bramore, the video assistant referee Joe Gill, assistant referee Gary Bestwick, assistant referee 2 Matt Wilkes, fourth official and Helix, and assistant player official is Neil Davidson.
It just moves constantly. It's not the heaviest, but to lift it, it could catch you out at any time. So I would probably say fact, because that's not happened with any of the other trophies I've won. Community Shield wanted a bit of me, so I think that's a fact.
The Premier League trophy was heavier than expected. That's actually fiction, because someone scared me that it was going to be so heavy that I wasn't going to be able to lift it. So I thought it was going to be more heavy.
And were you thinking about that when they were bringing it over to you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I was just thinking, don't drop it, and that was it.
When I tweeted you deserve better, Arsenal fans, I knew we would win the title one day. Facts.
December 2020, that tweet, did you know one day that you would make your wish come true?
In my head, I was never going to retire without winning the Premier League with Arsenal. So it was a mission, and yeah, it's come true.
Make you hungrier for more as well?
100%.
The Arsenal fan celebrations for the title were even bigger than I expected. Of course, there was probably the expectations I have is the previous celebrations and the previous parades that we had, but that was nothing that I have ever witnessed in football, in sport, or in any trophies that I won. Just witnessing that energy across all the supporters, the players, the staff, and a unique moment that we live together that is going to stay with us the rest of our lives.
Declan Rice messaged me this summer. Yeah, it's fact. He said, "Oh, brother, now we don't fight anymore. Now we become friends." I said, "Yeah, it's finally no more fights."
Are you happy you and Declan can finally be friends?
Like I said to him, always annoying to play against them, and yeah, I joined them now, and now I fight for them. Hopefully, we can have fun together.
And you can see more of that content on Saturday Social. Tomorrow it's underway from 9 a.m. and it'll be followed at 10 a.m. by Premier League Weekend, hosted by Roman Kemp. Get across those two shows for your Saturday morning. Just joining us, team news tonight, Christian Mosquera starting in the Arsenal back four alongside Gabriel, the continued absence of William Saliba at the start of this season. Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield. There's no Bruno Guimaraes tonight. He's picked up a knock. You heard from Mikel Arteta, so Declan Rice starts, having I've been playing a watching brief for the Community Shield last weekend in Cardiff. Christos Solis started that game, and he makes his Premier League debut for Arsenal here this evening. There are 7 Premier League debuts for Coventry City, among them Carl Rushworth, who was really impressive on loan from Brighton last season. They made that signing permanent. He's in goal. Aurel Amenda is a new huge addition to the Coventry City back four. I say huge, standing next to him, he's a big boy. And there's real energy in midfield being added by the Ghanaian international. They're really excited about Caleb Urenchi, the young player of the year in Denmark last season. Just a couple of their new additions. Ian Wright and Gary Neville are here in the centre circle of the Emirates. I'm sure you get a bit tingly every time.
Now for the next 6 minutes, our very own, our breakfast presenter and host Jason Mohammed went down to Arsenal's training ground on Wednesday to speak to Arsenal striker Bukayo Saka. They did a little 3-minute quiz with him. They talked about last season's campaign. Have a look at this 7 minutes from start with you. I'll be back at 49.
And if you could get another one of that caliber and that quality, you got to get him, and I'm glad we did.
Do you know, I think the atmosphere's gone up a level since last season even here. The noise level certainly seems to have gone up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's relief. I think it's finally been done. They know what it's about, and now they want to see the guys retain it. And I think we're in a very good position to do that, Arsenal. So let's just see how it goes. It's going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Gary, you've been there, you've done it, you defended league titles. You have to set the standards from day one.
Absolutely, and I've got a good feeling about this Arsenal. Do you know why? Because I think the manager is incessant, he's obsessive, and he's relentless, and he's not going to let them off. And they've got some great professionals and characters in that dressing room, and I think it'll be Arsenal's season again, and it'll be very difficult for the others to get close to them.
So what do Coventry City need to do tonight to try and match up them?
Well, match them physically, which I think Frank has talked about. They've signed 9 players, Coventry, and they've looked at what Sunderland and Leeds did last year, which is sign physical players with a profile. They've obviously got to be good defensively, but you've got to compete with Arsenal on set pieces and on the aerial battles. And look, I'm really intrigued to see what Coventry are going to do. I think they're the team out of the 3 that are probably best equipped to stay up with the money that they've spent, and they were champions last year, so I'm excited to see them as well.
But what a challenge for them to start this return to the Premier League. Here we go again then. 3 months have passed in the blink of an eye, and it's time to do it all over again, watching the champions Arsenal take on the champions of the Championship, Coventry City, and watching for us, Jamie Carragher alongside Peter Drury.
David, thank you. What a wonderful feeling in here. For now, the world is perfect. And here, the walk for which these clubs have waited a generation. Arsenal march into their 21st century home as champions for the very first time. And after 25 often hellish years away, Coventry City stride with intent back into the Premier League. High on last year's glory, For last year's best in class, it is time to prove it all over again. Well, Mikel Arteta is now post-Pep the longest-serving boss in the league. He launches his title defence with David Raya in goal of 3 straight Golden Gloves. William Saliba's World Cup injury means Christian Mosquera must step up for now, pending the readiness of Ezri Konsa. Bruno Guimaraes was hurt in the Community Shield, so he's not involved, and Declan Rice is required to start. Miles Lewis-Skelly holds his spot. It's Bukayo Saka and not Noni Madueke. Kai Havertz was a scorer in Cardiff last weekend, and he starts up top, which leaves Victor Gyökeres, once a Coventry hero, to wait his moment. And do note there that Ethan Nwaneri is back in the Arsenal 20. Well, Frank Lampard, of course, needs no introduction to this league. He won it 3 times, but many of his team are fresh to the level. Goalkeeper Carl Rushworth is Coventry's own now after a stellar season on loan from Brighton. Swiss centre-half Aurel Amenda, 6'6", is the unmissable addition to last year's back line. Caleb Yarenchi was terrific for Ghana at the World Cup. He's new. Captain Matt Grimes, one of the outstanding ball users in last year's championship. Lum Chowner arrives from Burnley on the flank, and with Haji Wright injured, Ellis Sims, who ended last season with a hat-trick, gets first crack up front. And that leaves the returning Gus Harmer and newly acquired Taiwo Awoniyi as attacking alternatives. Well, you'll be aware by now of the changes of law and VAR nuance which are being introduced at the start of the season. All designed essentially to keep the game moving and to keep it clean. And you can see those changes going through the bottom of your screen now. As we look at the managers who are back down now from their open-top buses, the men who shook off the weight of recent history and made it happen. Last 20 years after moving in, Arsenal have given this place its first champions. And right now, these streets are their own. London forever. Play up, Sky Blues. There goes the shimmering summer of 2026, the summer of Cape Verde and Curacao, of Cane and Spain. And here come 9 manic months, launched by the familiar and the fresh. Arsenal to defend their crown, Coventry to attack their moment in time. They all begin on 0. It's all ahead of us. Let us enjoy. There is the first raid for Coventry City from their new acquisition from Burnley. Lum Chowner and Gabriel fields the first corner.
Yeah, exactly what you want from the start. You get the kick-off, and you hope you can get some territory, keep it in the Arsenal half, but hopefully the outside there gets a corner. We know we've got 2 teams here who are absolutely fantastic last season in terms of scoring from set pieces.
Then there is a new target, in by Grimes, up in the air by Calafiori.